Hello and welcome to the Claw Studio here at the Royal Opera House in London. My name is Rebecca Jones, and in this Insight we're taking you behind the scenes of Ballet to Broadway, Wheeldon Works. This mixed programme celebrates the versatility and the range of the Royal Ballet's artistic associate, Christopher Wheeldon, who has been described as one of the world's very top choreographers. Chris's career has spanned ballet and musical theatre and has brought him from London to New York and beyond. In Ballet to Broadway, 4 distinct pieces showcase his remarkable work. To tell us more about the programme, I'm delighted to say we are joined now by Chris and also by the director of the Royal Ballet, Kevin O'Hare. So fantastic you're both here. Chris, I have to start by congratulating you. Congratulations on winning an Olivier Award for Best Choreography for MJ the Musical, which of course you directed as well. How much did that award mean to you?
Oh goodness, I mean, it's always lovely to be honoured, of course. It was great for the show because we got to perform at the Albert Hall for the Oliviers, and of course, it's always good to kind of get the show out to a broader audience that way. So it was an exciting night, and you know, don't listen to what people tell you. It's always more fun when you win.
Yeah.
It just is.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Kevin, given Chris's association with the Royal Ballet, it must have been a proud moment for you as well.
Yeah, of course it is. It's wonderful to see him being honoured that way. And of course, the last time you won an Olivier Award was for a ballet by the Royal Ballet. Yeah. So that feels like we've got, you know, that as well.
Which ballet was that, Kevin?
That was for Turnham, which was one of the ballets when I first became director. It was in that first year that Chris choreographed a beautiful piece to Britain music. And we did actually think about it for this programme, but then went in a different direction.
Well, talking about this programme and the direction you went in, ultimately, I'm sure you discussed between the two of you what's going to be included, but ultimately you have the power, Kevin. So how did you decide which 4 pieces you wanted to include?
Well, some of them are my favourite pieces, but interestingly, none of them actually started life here at the Royal Ballet, which Chris has created so much work that we all know and love here. So it's nice to see work that hasn't been seen so much here. Fool's Paradise was performed here actually in 2012, I think, but that's the last time it's been seen. It's a beautiful sort of neoclassical work. Chris at his best, it's beautiful classicism, and so I think we thought that to start the program, and then go into a more contemporary vein with the 2 duets, 2 very different duets. One which we performed earlier last season at Jacob's Pillow, and a new one to us, and then finishing off with American in Paris and Broadway. So it really spans what we love and admire about Chris, is that amazing versatility, and everything he touches, he brings his own special magic to.
Yeah, Chris, were you happy with the choices?
Very much so, very much so. And you know, Kevin's not one to actually really put his foot down. It was very, very much a sort of collaborative conversation, which was great. And I was thrilled that, you know, that despite these works not originating here, that he sees the opportunity also to kind of present some works that have been seen less on this stage.
Yeah, and Royal Ballet dancers get the chance to dance them, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking a lot about the dancing and seeing some as well, which is even more thrilling. But I wanted to talk to you just briefly about the music, because there's such a range of music in these pieces, as Kevin has touched on. How important is music to you in your creative process? Oh
goodness, I mean the music is everything, and especially with the abstract works, and the story works as well. But with because I often create very spontaneously with a piece of music, and Fool's Paradise was my first collaboration with Joby Talbot, with Joby and I working together for the first time, and from that. Sort of Alice in Wonderland was born. And
we're talking to Joby tonight.
Yes, Joby's here. Yeah. And so, you know, going into a space with a piece of music like Fool's Paradise, which Joby will tell you more about, and really using the music, or allowing the music to be sort of to inform in the moment how the shape of the movement is being built. And so So it's very, very important. I know it intimately when I walk into the space, into the room. I haven't pre-planned any steps, so what unfolds really then becomes a conversation between me and the dancers, and of course the music.
And the music, fascinating.
Yeah.
Kevin, we've mentioned Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Your first full-length ballet here at the Royal Ballet. There have been others though, haven't there? The Winter's Tale, like Water for Chocolate. I'm just wondering from your point of view, how often are you saying to Chris, well, what's next?
Every week. We do. We are on that conversation as we speak, as we're creating this program. That's the next idea in our heads, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you going to give us any insights? No. Okay. Worth asking. Well, look, we're going to see some rehearsal now, an excerpt from The Two of Us, and I think it's worth saying that this is its UK premiere. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Perhaps you could just talk us through, Chris, what we're going to see and perhaps what we should all be looking out for.
Yes. So we're going to be working on the male variation from The Two of Us. Two of Us was created during the pandemic, actually. I was very lucky. New York City Center commissioned. They have a program called Fall for Dance every year, which is a fantastic festival, week-long festival, and they invite companies from all over the world, and they sort of perform quite randomly so it's a different program every night. Nice. And the tickets are cheaper, and the audiences are so appreciative, and it's got a really wonderful kind of festival-like atmosphere, and it's a real coming together of the dance world, a meeting of the great companies and contemporary street dancers, ballet companies. It's just so exciting. And then, of course, when we were all locked down, there were no opportunities clearly for us to all sort of be in one place together celebrating dance. So City Centre decided, with very, very strict sort of stipulations, to commission an evening that would be filmed. And so The Two of Us was created in what felt really like Armageddon in New York at that point. Like all of Fifth, I remember walking to work from Chelsea, walking up to City Centre to rehearsal, and up Fifth Avenue, everything boarded up. The occasional sort of ambulance going across the avenues, and then just me and these two dancers and the wonderful music of Joni Mitchell. I wanted to find something that felt very human and very quiet and very personal, music that just felt really soothing, actually, and so that's how The Two of Us was born. It was the last piece made for David Hallberg, the American Ballet Theatre star, who has now gone over to Australia to direct the Australian Ballet. So it was his last time being created on, his last time performing even, I think, and for Sarah Mearns, ballerina with the New York City Ballet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you've teed it up perfectly. Thank you both. We'll leave you to it. Rehearsing The Two of Us, please will you welcome Royal Ballet dancer Francisco Serrano, joined by the singer Julia Fordham, Grant Green on the piano, plus guest coach Robbie Fairchild. Over to you.
So to be very fair to Francisco, this is really the first time. This is the first time I'm seeing any of The Two of Us since I arrived. I was here last week, but unfortunately got a bug, so I haven't really been in the house. So this is the first time that we're working together on this. So I'm going to go easy on him, I think. Let's see. Let's just go from the beginning and just have a look, and then I'll stop you. And we have wonderful Julia and Grant over here at the piano. Julia's going to speak a little bit about the music a little bit later on. Let's go from the top and just see where we get up to.
It hovered in a frozen sky. about summer down.
Okay, good. I'm going to start. So, Julia, I'm so sorry. This is such a treat to have Julia with us, and I'm going to keep interrupting her, and it's going to be really infuriating. I'm sorry.
To be interrupted.
I'm sorry. Let's just talk about this first. Even the first two walks out. Like I think you want to be. You're already telling a story with these first two steps of. I don't know, contemplation, reflection, something about the way that you convey a little bit more going on than just the two steps out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Then let's see if we can get more of that shape in your back. Do you know what I want to see? I want to see that, I always say this, it's not a very pretty analogy, but you know when a dog poops and they go like that? That shape is the shape I'm looking for. It's like you need to move through that shape and then come out the other side of it. Yeah, still not seeing it. Yeah, it's that. So that's better. It's like you want to just. Now I've put that in everyone's heads, of course, all around the world. Well done, Wheeldon. But it's moving through a little bit more of a, that's good, yeah, Now here, once you've hooked that foot, see if you can make your upper back and your arms really, really unfurl. Like get the control. Get your center, easier said than done. Get your center, and now really make that's it. That's beautiful, yeah. And once the energy's gone, Francisco, once the energy's gone out through that hand, again, how it then trails and tells a story. There's something happening with that hand as it comes down. It's part of the thought, whatever that thought is, yeah? We can go on. This was good. Robbie, I'm going to ask you to help me with this, just because you remember the timing of it. These three moves back. Are we in the right place musically?
You were a little early out of this. Just take a couple more steps. So this is right on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 2, 3, 5. Then for this moment, bum-be-dum-ba-dum. It's right on her lyrics. Bum-bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-bum.
I think we could even get, so after you've got like a swipe here. Can you get lower? Tita, tita, fwa. Yeah. And I think, you don't have to be quite so, I don't think it needs to be quite so allongé. Like, I think you can push that hand more. Push it back. That's good. That's nice. Yeah. And even as you then make the turn, drop the focus. Drop your head a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. Super. Yeah. This was good. I'd love to see you come around to a really clear, strong arabesque line here before you releve to then go. Yeah. Cool. One more time. Thank you. Here we go. Now big and sweep. Better. Unfold. And sweep. Sweep.
I awoke today and found the frost perched on the town. It hovered in a frozen sky, then it gobbled summer down. When the sun turned straighter cold and all trees
Okay, good.
were shivering.
Lovely. So sorry, again, interrupting. Just wanted to hear you sing all evening. Can these have more trail, more curve? That second one was good. You have to be brave about it and fall out of it a few times. to really find it. But I'm worried that my mic pack is going to project out if I start turning, but I'm going to do it. Do you know what? Yeah, it's like I want to see you go from here, all the way from here, all the way through your back. So now your back is smiling over the shape. So it's really, you're really arcing. So we're getting that each time. Otherwise, it can look a little bit upright. Yeah, it's like you want to maybe trail, leave your head weight back slightly. Just give it a go. And go, and go, and go. Yeah, I think what will help you is actually getting your pelvis a little bit more underneath. Yeah, your head weight's going to change it completely. Like you're doing barrel turns, but just without jumping. So we go and T, ta, T. Be brave. Be brave. That's better. Yeah. And now that was great. Now just when you get to the height of it each time, think of your shoulder blades zipping down your back against your leg. So you're actually creating a tension of shape that then allows you the control. It's like it's the head weight distribution and then smiley shoulder blades, zip down your back, squeeze your bum. Just a few notes. T, ta, T, ta, T, biggest one. Yeah. That last one, I really want you to step to it. So we really go somewhere, step to it, boom. Because you're coming to 2 feet, so you can be super brave about it, yeah? It is low, medium, high, isn't it? Yeah, so even with the first one, like breathe through it, breathe, breathe, breathe. Now step, and like give it just a little bit of bravura at the end. That's it, yeah. And then we create the tension that melts in. Yeah, great. You've got one apologetic leg moment here that I'm not sure about. Here, is it, we're just sort of, maybe we need to just go a bit higher with it. I think it's as you go into, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a
travel.
So maybe that's what I'm just missing the ball change part of it, yeah. T, T, go bigger. I don't remember that arm.
Is it like I always imagine like a clock, and then it straightens?
So that's what so I think actually, Francisco, you're doing everything absolutely right. It just needs the pull, the extremities, the pull that way and the pull that way. T, ta, ta, T, yeah. You're quite low with it. I think you can allow it to get to that place. That's it. Yeah. Cool. Where can we? Let's go right. Can we go right on the vocal down here? This is lovely. I still want to see that. I want to just see the prints for a second, and then it can break into. Yeah.
I awoke today and found the frost perched on the town. It hovered in a frozen sky, then it gobbled summer down.
Good.
When the sun turned straighter cold,
Be brave.
tall
Be brave.
trees are shivering in a naked row. I get the urge for
Okay, good. Lovely. Super. I'm not going to apologize because it's just the way it is now. Thank you, Julia. Fab. Brave. We were brave. You'll nail this eventually once you find your weight in the right place for that. This was lovely. Now, what happens here? We go out. We go out, we go out, we go forth. So that fourth needs proper side shape. That's it. Now just go on for me after that. So then step, step. Now here, this is a great opportunity for you to use head weight against foot. I think it's more about just balancing yourself with your head so that you can sustain it and get your super on your leg. And I think you need to be that way. That's it. Just finding all the, there's so much like delicious chew in the sound that you need to find. So it's not, so your body and your control is resonating and vibrating in between each individual moment, in the same way that the voice is sort of magically shimmering in the air. Yeah. Great. Where can we go from? Sure, why not? Yeah.
I awoke today and found the frost perched on the town. It hovered in the frozen sky, then it gobbled summer down. When the sun turned straight or cold, and tall trees are shivering in a naked road. I get the urge for going, but I never seem to go. I get the urge for going when the meadow grass is turning brown, and summertime is falling down, and winter's closing in.
Nice, Francisco, lovely. Okay, let's just stop there. Good. Let's just have a quickly look at this, the urge for going sequence. Just where do we start? We've got the double arm. Let's go from there. And we'll just do it here, just so that we're a bit further back. Yeah. So we've got ta ti boom ti ta. Now here we go. So this is good. Yeah. Now continue. Can you survey the kingdom with that head and hand as it comes round? So lift your eyes a little bit more. That's it. It's almost like you go so far, reaching for something so far that you then have to bring it down. It's inevitable that's it. And then, lovely, good. P. But try to keep that really against your side. That's it. And then back, good. Round. Now here, super. Let this go. You don't hold it. Like really, like have what I would call a ballerina moment. You know, they're always loving to hang back here. So it's your ballerina moment, Francisco. Yeah, so from here, pa, ti, ba, ba, ba. I think it's in the elbows. It's like allowing that's better. It's like allow the elbows to lead the hands forwards. Start the shape with the elbows, that's it. And then here, I think we can go a little bit higher with that front leg. Almost like you're lifting your leg with your ti, ta, now over. Same thing there. Same thing there. It wants to be a longer line. Think it like turned in attitude front. Longer line. That's it. That's great. Yeah. It's like, even though all of this is contained, and you've done such a lovely job at keeping the simplicity of shape, there needs to be, you need to be working at like max amplitude of breath and body, keeping it simple, but not containing it, still allowing it to live and breathe at, like beyond your That's I think where the poetry lies, is where to our eyes it looks really simple, but actually there's still struggle. Like I think if it all starts to, 'cause it's so beautifully kind of rhapsodic and poetic, and I think if you contain it too much, and we lose that struggle, it starts to we lose some of the tension. Yeah, cool. Let's go one more time for. I wasn't sure, Robbie, you can help me with this.
Yes.
Would you mind? Of the timing of these little walks into, yeah.
Up, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're right on her singing for that.
And where are our hands for that little? Are they?
Boom.
Boom, boom. Can we make them a bit more defined? Those two hops.
Like quite little.
No, just. I think it's. Yeah, just the maybe holding the position a little clearer, just making them a bit bigger. Ti ta ta ta. That's better. Yeah, and then I think if you start boom boom, maybe go a little higher with the pa pa. That's it. Shh, and then yeah, that's great. And then just what I'm noticing is, and I know you've just learnt this too, so kudos to you for being able to string all this together really well, but. Part of what's missing is the storytelling in your eyes. So even here, like it needs to come up, and we need to give our friends in the amphi a little bit of Francisco. Yeah, even though we're on camera right now. Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, just let it just open up. As soon as you open your chest and you open your eyes, you allow us in a bit more. Yeah, nice, super, yeah. And then show me this little sequence. So we've got ta-ti-tam, cha-ti-ta-ba. Could it just be a bit more tactile? Could you, as you're moving through all of that, can you feel yourself a bit more? Rather than just kind of moving through the space, actually, almost like you're speaking a language with your own body. Cha, ti, ta, form. But it's like I want to almost hear the sound of your hand on your own skin. That's good, yeah. It's like a little bit of struggle, so it's not too sort of drifty, but it's sort of got, like you're saying something. Like it's a sentence. Ta, ti, lovely, yeah. That's great, yeah. Super. Fab. We're probably fairly short on time. So that we get to hear a little bit more of an extended moment with you, let's go from the beginning, and we'll go up to where we stopped earlier. So this is, I think, like the first third of the solo. It's quite a long one. Here we go.
I awoke today and found the frost perched on the town. It hovered in a frozen sky, then it gobbled summer down. When the sun turns straighter cold,
Be brave.
all trees are shivering in a naked row. I get the urge for going, but I never seem to go.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I get the urge for going when the meadow grass is turning brown, and summertime is falling down, winter's closing in. I have me.
Okay, good. Yeah. Nice. Sorry, I was gonna have you go on a little bit from here. Yeah, but we got a little bit close to the front. But, Time is up. Time is up. So,
Amazing.
Francisco,
amazing.
thank you so
thank
much.
You,
Yeah,
thank you.
Good job, yeah.
Amazing. You stay where you are. I feel awful because I know we could have carried on watching that for ages because it was just so breathtaking. I mean, thank you, Julia. Thank you, Grant, as well, obviously to Chris and to Robbie, but also to Francisco, who has literally really just learnt that, hasn't he? Unbelievable. What a privilege to see it. We will have more dancing. Never fear, so stay with us. But we've heard from Chris, haven't we, already about how important music is to his choreographic creations. And what we're going to do now is talk a little bit more about the music that is being used in all of these 4 pieces. So joining us is Julia Fordham and also the dancer and actor Robbie Fairchild, along with the composer Joby Talbot. Come over here, Julia. Yeah. So do you want to sit by me? Robbie, you sit in the middle. Great to have you with us. I mean, Ballet to Broadway features, I mean, an amazing kind of array of music, doesn't it? From Joni Mitchell to Gershwin, your music, of course, and also the music of Keaton Henson. I wanted to start with you. Here you are singing these wonderful, wonderful Joni Mitchell songs, which must be special enough in itself. But I understand you actually know her.
I got to meet the #1 goatee McGoat, Joni Mitchell.
How come? Tell us what happened.
I'm a huge fan. I first heard a Joni Mitchell song in a folk club when I was 14. And one of the guest singers sang Case of You. And I knew that this song was like a cut above. I didn't know who the singer was, but then I later discovered Joni and all of her songs and music. So I've been very influenced by her. I love her voice. She's an incredible artist. And I went to her art exhibition in London and I actually got to meet her. And I couldn't believe it because she was very kind and said that she knew me and loved my work, especially my second album, Porcelain. And she said, my husband, Larry Klein, who's an incredible bass player, by the way, and renowned producer, amazing musician, he's a big fan. You should come to our house and make a record. So I thought I dreamt the whole thing. And then when I told the record company, they were like, are you sure that happened? And I started to think maybe it didn't, but it actually did. And I got to fly to LA and work in their house, in their studio. And I had an incredibly privileged window of time when I got to see literally my #1 favorite artist close up.
Because they always say never meet your heroes, but in this case it worked out okay.
You know, people say, what is she like? And I think the only way to describe her is that she's like a genius. You know, she is an absolutely riveting raconteur. She's mesmerizing. Everything that she says, when she's talking, you feel like you should be recording it. There's nothing mundane comes out of her mouth. I mean, she'll just start talking like, the day I met John Lennon, and then it's some incredible story that's just, you know, spellbinding. I found her to be incredibly generous and supportive. She was fun. She would come into the studio and dance around, and she has a lightness of being as well as being, you know, this incredibly anchored, brilliant, outstanding individual. I mean, it's like we're not all wrong. There's a reason why we all love Joni and her works. And if that wasn't enough, she's an absolutely remarkable artist. Her paintings are wonderful. Yeah. And one of my happiest memories is actually getting to walk into her house, and she invited me in to see her paintings. And they have the same magic, because she's an outstanding, exceptional, she puts the extra in extraordinary, really. She's something special.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Robbie, if I might turn to you, you're a former principal dancer with the New York City Ballet. You're here helping to stage the 2 of us, and I could see when you were watching that rehearsal, you're kind of dancing every step with Francisco. It's still all there, clearly, isn't it?
Well, it's really fun to be on this side of things and imparting things that, you know, I've had those rehearsals with Chris before, and he's talked to me in, you know, in different ways about certain steps. And so to watch that whole experience and to just be a part of it, I just feel really lucky and very grateful to pass down all that gold that he's given in the room.
You've appeared in a lot of Chris's ballets, I know, including Us as well,
Yes.
which is featuring in this mix bill, and that features the music of Keaton Henson. And I wondered if you could, his name may be not as familiar, can you tell us a bit more about the music and what it's like to dance to?
I don't think it's possible. I don't think Chris has ever chosen music or worked with a composer. That it's just not, you just can't help but move to the music. It just feels so right to move. And, you know, there's the Balanchine quote, see the music, hear the dance. And he's such a brilliant architect of movement. When you watch the music, you feel like you're seeing the music through the dance. And that's what he did with us. That's what he did with the Joni Mitchell piece. It's just really, it's quite magical to get to call him a friend, too, on top of it.
Oh, that's nice. Joby, you created the score for Fool's Paradise, which we're going to be lucky enough to see a little bit of in a moment. And that was your first collaboration of many with Chris, wasn't it? How did the two of you first come to work together?
Yeah, that was my entry into Wheeldon world, a place I haven't subsequently left. We met on there was a triple bill which had Chris's wonderful piece DGV, music of Michael Nyman, and also Chroma, Ray McGregor's piece, which I provided the music for. We met when that was done, and then Chris spoke to my wonderful publisher and general right-hand person, Jill Graham, about other stuff I'd written. And I'd written the music some years previously for an old Russian silent movie called The Dying Swan, directed by the Russian film director Yevgeny Bauer in 1917. Early on in my career, I did a few old silent movie scores for the British Film Institute. And I have to say that it was a complete chance, but the best training for writing, especially narrative ballet music, for anybody, silent films, is a really helpful thing to do. And this film is a beautiful film. It's about a ballerina, unsurprisingly, who dances The Dying Swan. It's a party piece, but she's murdered by a, spoiler alert, she's murdered by a baddie count. And it's very kind of over the top and kind of, sort of Grand Guignol melodrama. It's a film notable for having the first ever tracking shot in the history of cinema. Oh. This was a director who was completely unknown in the West, and I think in the 1980s some old Russian film company was being demolished, and some archivists from the British Film Institute went over and found some rolls of film and discovered this treasure trove. This filmmaker, Yevgeny Bauer, he made something, I don't know, 20 films or something in the space of just a couple of years before he died of the Spanish flu. And we took the music, which was really written for piano, violin, and cello, and edited it down into a sensible-sized one-act shape, and rescored it for string orchestra and piano, and here we are now. So that was a kind of extraordinary experience, because I loved Chris's work, but until you see what an artist like Chris can do with your music, you don't really understand the potential of the music, I think. And as Robbie was saying, it was like suddenly it seems like the most natural thing in the world that people should be dancing to this.
But you raise an interesting question, I think, because as you've implied, you compose music for, concert halls, but stage and screen as well. So what particular challenges does composing music for dancers involve?
Well, I don't really think of it differently than I'd think of writing any other music. Like Nella was just saying, like the counting in Fool's Paradise is just fiendishly complicated. And if I'd have thought about the poor dancers, I probably would have maybe not made it so tricky. But I don't think you can really do that. You can't be compromising what you're doing because to accommodate others. So I just write music that I always try and write music that I personally would want to hear and that I love, and try and basically get across my kind of love for music generally in how I express myself through composing. And then it's just that magical thing then that you come into the studio and you see that it's now been turned into movement. I always think that it's almost like a complementary shape. It's like two crystals that exist somehow, and they fit together, the choreography and the music. And without wishing to sound sycophantic, it's just such a blessing to have this ongoing, wonderful, creative, collaborative partnership and friendship with Chris Wheeldon.
Oh, it's a big love-in tonight, isn't
Yeah.
it? Robbie, you created the role of Jerry Mulligan in Chris's multi-Tony award-winning production of An American in Paris, which I was lucky to see. I'm sure many people watching also saw it as well, with, of course, that wonderful Gershwin score. I'm interested from a personal point of view because it was at the height of your career as a dancer, a ballet dancer, and you moved away from that to turn to Broadway. Why? I mean, I want to ask you the question, why did you turn your back on ballet? But maybe that's a bit unfair.
God, that's so deep.
That's a bit harsh. But you made a conscious decision.
Well, you know, growing up in Salt Lake City, the one thing that was my golden idol, it was Gene Kelly. My mom, for my Valentine's Day present when I was in 3rd grade, Gene Kelly had just passed away that February. And she goes, "You've never seen Singing in the Rain? Oh my God, Robbie." So she bought me the VHS and I watched it religiously. So here I am, many years later, New York City Ballet, and I'm have my dress rehearsal for The Prince and Sleeping Beauty. And I come up in my intermission to change, and I got a voicemail from Christopher Wheeldon. And it said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking for a Jerry." "Rob, it's Chris. The part's yours if you want it." And it had been a 1.5 year long audition process. And I thought to myself, you know, I would love to do Broadway, but like when I don't look good in white tights anymore. It's like very specific. And here I was at 26, 27, juggling that, getting to do a part that your idol made so incredibly famous.
But how did you make it your own?
I thought to myself, you know, what was lucky for us is that we were not doing their choreography. We were doing Chris Wheeldon's choreography. And so with that, you're not doing the same exact steps. I would like to imagine that if he was there in the audience watching, that his words would be, "Make it your own." You know, it's who am I to try and do what he did? Go press play, watch the film. Oh my God, it's captured. It is perfect. So what are we going to bring to it today? How are we going to develop it differently? So it was giving myself that liberty and not putting that pressure on myself and getting to dance in the shadow of my idol.
No, you were perfect too.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Julia, well, I think we got an insight there of what are perhaps some of the challenges of singing for dancers.
You have to stop a lot.
Clearly quite a lot of stop-start. I mean, other challenges and perhaps what are also the highlights?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a privilege to be here and working with Christopher, an incredible choreographer, and these amazing dancers. I think for me, the most important thing was to try and establish what Christopher's vision was, because that's all I have to do. And then honour the work of Joni Mitchell. We're all Joni fans who are involved in this project. And it's really like, you know, one of the other things about Joni is her works are so incredible. I mean, she's this phenomenal musician, her chords, her harmonies, and her lyrics. I mean, she's just like a cut above. She's like a singing poet. So once I understood, because I asked Christopher, what are you trying to get here? And he wanted that sort of purity of tone that Joni has in her earlier works, where I mean, that's the other thing that's so extraordinary about Joni's voice. It goes from folk to like the queen of singer-songwriter over to jazz, to just anything. She can sing anything. Standards. I mean, her Both Sides Now's jazz album was phenomenal. So I'm trying to like tune into what Joni is saying. Her words say so much, like every word has a meaning. And just watching Christopher like placing the movements with the words, and it's not like on the nose, it just has this feeling. He understands her music. So I'm just like I didn't find that challenging stopping, because I knew that's what would happen. I'm just the person who's singing the song, and it's all about the dancer and the choreographer. And I'm really happy to have that post. I can't wait. I mean, I've just loved this evening, and to be, for me as a singer-songwriter, to actually be given an opportunity to honour the brilliance of the writer Joni Mitchell, and then also Christopher Wheeldon and the dancers. I'm like, I'm all the way in.
Oh, Joby, just a final question for you, if you don't mind. We've mentioned the fact that you've been working with Chris a long time. You're still working with him. I know you've just done a ballet about Oscar Wilde for the Australian Ballet. Kevin O'Hare has hinted there might be another one at the Royal Ballet. Who knows? I'm intrigued by how your working relationship is. I mean, who decides a section is going to be a particular length? Do you say, I want to write this, and then Chris has to kind of fit the steps? Or does he say, I need 20 minutes here, Joby? How does it work?
Well, we always, when we're doing a story ballet, which all our ballets after Fool's Paradise have been, we work on the synopsis first and break down whichever story we're trying to tell into simplest and clear form that we can think of to present. But yeah, then it's literally, I remember one when we were working on Winter's Tale, and I think it was a Leonti solo, and we're like, well, how long would that be? And Chris sort of, pirouettes in the kitchen, and says, how long was that? And I'm like, 45 seconds, okay, 45 seconds, and then it goes in the book. And then it's surprising how actually correct that is. It usually ends up basically being what we decide at the outset. But I love this way of working, because when we're trying to tell a story, I'll have ideas how I can musically tell it. Chris will have ideas how he can tell it with the steps and the general theatricality, and then if all else fails, we'll just get Bob Crowley to sort it out in the design.
The designer. Has he ever made you redo anything?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
make it. I'm happy to redo it.
Okay.
I mean, because it's all in the service of the show being as good as it can possibly be, and however that needs to happen, that's what has to happen.
Yeah. Well, look, it's been fascinating talking to all three of you. There's never enough time, but all the very best for the rehearsal process, and obviously for when we all come and see it on the main stage. It will be tremendously exciting. Thank you so much, Joby, Robbie, and I've gone blank. Julia, forgive me. Thank you. Right, enough talking. I'm sure you're, like me, ready for some more dance. And we're going to see another rehearsal, this time an excerpt from Fool's Paradise, which was that first collaboration between Chris and Joby that Joby was telling us about just now. So please welcome back Christopher Wheeldon. Chris, if you come over to talk to me just for a minute, don't run. You need all your breath and your energy. Joby's obviously told us a bit about Fool's Paradise, so we've kind of got the context. But tell us a little bit about what we're going to see, where we're at, and what we perhaps should be looking out for.
So so we're going to be working on the kind of second kind of major duet in the piece, which comes probably about halfway through. It's the introduction of two dancers that you don't see from the get-go, so two new dancers coming into the piece. I haven't seen it for ages, and again, today is the first day that I'm getting to work with these guys and actually be reintroduced to the choreography. So we're all going to be discovering it together.
Fantastic. Well, look, rehearsing, I'll let you go and sort yourself out. Rehearsing Fool's Paradise, I'm delighted now to introduce the Royal Ballet dancers Marianella Nunes and Lucas Bransrod, with pianist Hannah Quing and repetiteur, where are you, Deirdre? Deirdre Chapman, over to you.
I'm just folding Nella's laundry and putting it here. All right, I think we should just try and reteach me the choreo, guys.
I think go even further upstage.
Yeah, you'll be coming out of the back wing, so yeah, that's good. Yeah. That seems like a good place to stop. I was quite mesmerized up until there, though. No, it was lovely. Let's talk. Good. Okay. All right. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember now. It doesn't take long for it to come back. So this first entrance, I think Lucas. It's funny because it's exactly how Francisco had Francisco walk out. It feels a little formal right now. I think just be less ballet Lucas than more Lucas, and just allow your kind of presence to be magnetic and just sort of walk a bit more normally. Then you reach for Nell, so you come around. Can this have more of a feeling of sort of central force that pulls you together, so that when you actually connect, both your bodies melt. Your shapes melt into each other a little bit more. So we go, sha. Yeah, it's like, Lucas, you might even need to get lower to allow Nella to have more space to fold into you. And just go a little bit, be a bit more dynamic about it. And shoo. Yeah, yeah, do you get stuck now? Do you feel like you get a bit stuck?
It's almost like I'm hugging him from the top, but I think you want
that,
no?
Yeah, it's that shape. It's the dog poo shape again, I'm sorry. I've got to bring it up, but it is. That's better. Yeah, and I think actually know where your head's going. Is your head going that way? Yeah, yeah, that's good. Now just go on for me. So we switch heads, that's good. And now just continue on for me here. This should go back, that's good. Now, that was going to be my second note for you now, is just maybe, Lucas, you need to create a little bit more space so that we really just get, allow Nella the space to get the head really shaped around. Little wormy moment. So back here. And arms first and then head. Could this arm even go further around? So arms kind of go through and then the head follows. So there, and arms through, head. That's nice, yeah. Now just go on for me. So then we've got the rond, yeah. And then T. I'm missing like really back, that's it. And then, yeah. It's scary, right? Yeah, and then shoo. But yeah, and then let's try to avoid, if possible, that. And I think it's just to get your feet together to go, rather than a parallel. Yeah, yeah. So from here, just go slowly. So you've got the there. Through there, pa, that's it. There's just one moment where you're being an exceptional partner and taking care of our most precious ballerina, which I fully appreciate. However, she's fine. She can take it. It just needs a little bit more of a, and we're there feel to it, rather than, but, cha. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean. Go for it. Pa-ti, ta-ti. Keep it going. Ba, form. That's it. That's better. Yeah. Ba, ta. Ti, ta, ba. I feel like, am I wrong? Are there 3 breaks here? 2 breaks. Can we do 3? Can we go cut?
Sure.
Including the back?
Show me what you do. So, cut. Oh, I see.
So as a back and 2 forward.
Maybe instead of going back so soon, maybe you actually take it forwards a little bit longer, so that then the first break can be, I'm on the wrong leg, aren't I? No, I'm not. so that the first break can actually be back, front, front. But that's better, yeah. And you're very turned out. You're super turned out there. I think you could be a bit more kind of. That's it. Yeah, huh? Good. Then I reckon that could have a higher développé, please. It's around. Tita, boom, nice, lovely. And then P, T, and then shoo. T, good, keep going, good, T-ba, good, Nella, you don't look at him the first time. Can you look at him the first time as well? So you actually give him the head shape to go around you and go be closer to her head. So you're like tracing some kind of energy around her. So Nella,
So is that what you meant?
that's what I meant, yeah. Yeah, so look up to him. Tita, po, ba. That's good. Yeah, lovely. Keep going. Pom, pi. Yes, so this one wants to go fourth, surprise. Fourth, surprise. Yeah, there we go. And then we fold in. This was lovely. Round, that could go. Oh, I see. We don't go around the back. I was going to say that could go around the back, but it doesn't go around the back. But the more you can create that sort of suspended in time and around. Now here, somebody should be going forwards and somebody should be going backwards with the port de bras.
Lucas's head goes down and Nella's head goes up.
So Nella, you're going to go back. But that's it. There we go. And this is good. Nice slide into it. Good. But. Now go easy here. Not too fast, too soon. Right. There we go. Nice. And good. Okay. Good. Let's go. That all looks good. Yeah. No, let's go, so we can go on a little bit. Let's go from the slide.
Neil.
Yes, please. He's got you. Ready?
Thanks, Hannah. Yeah.
And. That's okay. That's all right. Good. So we fold it. We fold in. How are we coming? We're just coming up and out of that. Yeah.
So should I roll?
I think it's nice if you do that. Exactly. Just take care of her to get her there, and then step away. Let's just go on. Ready, and. Okay, good. So all of these want to be a little bit, it's a little bouncy. Yeah, it's like, that's it. Like tracing the shapes. Show me now. Oh. That's it. There we go. You see, it's you've got more to contend with the skis. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think if you can keep it really even in the point shoe, keep it ball of foot as much as possible, so that you're actually going ball. That's better. And then here, like the royalty on the throne. Yeah, so lots of work in the legs, grounded in the legs, but yeah. I was confused by the timing of the first step. Are they meant to be together?
They are meant to be together.
Right. No.
But their angles changing as
Right.
they do it, as
But
in.
Are we
But they should
going
be.
1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 1 and 2? Let's just try. Let's just try.
They should be.
And just
together.
be juicy with the rond each time. Yeah. Ready and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Yeah, good. I think you've got a little bit more. It might be that we might be a tiny. Hi, Hannah. How are you? Nice to see you. Now the bad news. We might be a tiny bit too fast. A little bit, yeah. Just for now, anyway. Because what I'm not quite getting the lasso, and I saw you rehearsing it in the other room as I walked past, and it actually looked really nice. But I think you've got to rock and roll it rather than force it. But it might be where you've got her weight, giving her the space away from your body to. Yeah, and ti ta ta pi pa pa. That's better. And now just go forwards round there. That's better. That's better. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yes. Yeah. Feels to me like we get a bit stuck in between instead of allowing the cushion of, do you know what I mean? It's like, I know it's feet together, but I think we can still have motion even in the yada tika boom. Maybe it's more investment in the ron, so you're not feet together for so long. So you're not going dee da 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 stop. And dee da 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 stop. You're going ti da 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 dee ta da ti da 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 ti ta da ti. Yeah, yeah, good. One more time. And that's better. Okay, hold on, good. So here, can you think of this moving into that pirouette, rather you're stopping and going. Yeah. Think of threading and going, because you'll be fine. Because if you're not, he'll find you. He'll find you. Tita, yeah. Tita. I think it's because you're letting that happen instead of having the freedom. So take more weight on your supporting leg. And now send it back out. That's it. Yeah. It's. That was it. That was it. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We'll do more. It's good.
Oh, thank you so much, Marianella, Lucas, Deirdre, and Hannah as well. Thank you so much. Again, wow, what an absolute treat. As if we haven't worked him hard enough this evening, we are going to finish with a little conversation with Chris. So Chris, if I can, as if by magic the chairs have appeared. Here we go. Wow, it is a privilege to watch you work. I love all your similes, the dog, the smiling back. I'm going to remember those. Fantastic. You've been artistic associate here at the Royal Ballet since, I think, 2012. Does that sound right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and you've created, we've talked about them already, these amazing full-length ballets, including Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which is coming back to the main stage here at Covent Garden in the summer. I wondered if you could give us an insight into the difference between creating a 3-act story ballet and these more abstract pieces that we've seen this evening.
I mean, the obvious differences are that with the story work, and Joby was talking about it, we spend a lot of time structuring and figuring out sort of a really good roadmap of emotional beats, story beats, how the dancers are going. So quite a lot of the preparation is done in advance. Right. None of the steps, because I don't tend, and some choreographers like to work on themselves or work with associates to develop movement before going into the room with the dancers. I like to be there in the moment with them. It's such a creative and exciting way to work. It's scary sometimes because, you know, you aren't always visited by the muse. There are days when the muse is probably out shopping in Covent Garden and you're really hoping that they come by. But that the electricity, the intensity, the excitement of kind of creating in the moment, and that's why actually working in the abstract can be sort of more freeing, because you're walking into a room with bodies and with music, and who knows where it's going to go. Yeah.
Before we talk a little bit more about the mix, Bill, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to turn the clock back, because you were brought up in Somerset, that's where you trained, and you did once say to me you were the only boy among 1,000 girls. And I wondered if you might tell us what attracted you to dance.
I was, I was an only child. I have both my parents were married previously, so I have siblings. But at that point, they'd all sort of gone off to boarding school. You know, I'm 10 years younger than my next brother, and I was the only child from my parents' second marriage. So I kind of grew up as an only child at home, making cut out sort of scenic designs for my model theatre, and I think there was always theatre in the house. My parents met doing Amdram, amateur dramatics. My dad was directing a play about Samuel Pepys, and my mum was playing Mrs. Pepys, and they fell in love. So there was always some sort of, they were always off up to the West End or to our local theatre to see productions, and then when I got to be of an age that they could take me, they took me with them. So there was always this interest in theatre and music and art, and very lucky that way to have grown up in that environment. So and it felt just, I saw Ashton's Film Margade on television, and I remembered really wanting to be a chicken, and Mum saying, well, the only way you can be a chicken is they're dancing chickens, is we'd have to enroll you into ballet school, and so that's kind of how that came about.
Yeah, and you joined the Royal Ballet School, and then you joined the Royal Ballet.
I did.
And then at the age of 19, there's this bizarre twist of fate, and you win this ticket to New York.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened, because that was a pivotal moment in your life.
Yes, it was. I didn't exactly win it. It was a special offer that Hoover had at the time with Virgin Atlantic, and if you bought a particular type of vacuum cleaner, you could send off for a free ticket to America, and they all got in trouble. Hoover got in trouble, Virgin got in trouble, because no one could meet the demands, because it was a no-brainer. I mean, a vacuum back then was probably £50, and so not only were you getting a vacuum, but a free ticket to America. So everyone went out and bought the vacuums. Everyone demanded their tickets. There was a lawsuit, but I actually got mine because I think I must have been one of the first people to apply. And I got my ticket, and I flew to New York. I was rehabbing from an injury, wrote to the New York City Ballet and said, you know, we're off for a week, but I've got performances next week. Could I please come and take class with you? Had fallen in love with Balanchine's work, dancing one of his works for the school performance here, and had never felt so much freedom just embodying music in my body and just being asked to just dance, and that was just so exciting.
Yeah.
And so they said, sure, come in, and mistakenly they were auditioning another young man for the company that day. Only the director, Peter, who was then Peter Martins, thought it was me that was auditioning and offered me the job.
No.
Yeah.
And did you say yes?
No. I said, first of all, I remember having the worst dry mouth because I'm sitting there suddenly, it's my first morning in New York, first morning in America, and suddenly I'm sitting in the director of the New York City Ballet's office, and he's asking me, well, why do you want to leave the Royal Ballet? Well, I don't, actually. But I did spend a fabulous week in New York and certainly got sort of caught in the spell of it.
Yeah.
And by the end of that week, I was like, maybe for a year I could do this and, you know, take a leap. And it was scary, but exciting. And they were very kind here and said, Sir Anthony Dowell was the director then. He said, you know, well, of course I'll see you again. You'll have to come back. You may be ruined after a year, but we'll have a look at you if you want to, you know, if you want to come back into the company. And that was now 33 years ago.
I'm sure the door's still open, isn't it, Kevin? Yeah.
Well, it's lovely. It's been open all these years. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been back and forth and had
Exactly.
such a, you know, I couldn't have bared the thought of sort of completely severing ties with my home company.
I mean, I'm having to fast forward a little bit here, but I mean, you dance with them and you're a huge success, but then I think you were 27 and you decide to hang up your ballet shoes and concentrate on choreography. Why did you turn your back on performing?
Let's talk about the huge success part, because I'm not sure that was entirely true as a dancer. I certainly struggled with certain aspects of dancing, and my ambition to be more than I think I was perhaps capable of certainly was a driving force to get better for a long time. But then, you know, I started to choreograph more and more and was having to turn down certain opportunities because of, you know, my commitments to the New York City Ballet, and my body started to hurt, and my ego started to get a little bit bruised because I'm like, why aren't I getting promoted? And it just seemed like I was very lucky. It seemed like a very natural kind of step to be able to stay in the world that I loved so much, but maybe take some of the pressure off of you know, not feeling good enough, and you know, I was getting stage fright towards the end of my time dancing. My insecurities were stripping me of the pleasure of performance, and if there isn't that, then what is there? Because we're beating ourselves up all day, and of course there is the wonderful process of developing and building, but actually we're performers and we live to perform, and if you lose that joy, then it's actually excruciating.
Gosh, I never knew that, Chris. Well, they obviously loved you there because they created the post of resident choreographer, especially for you, didn't they? Let's talk a bit more about this mixed bill. Only because of time, I feel we've got a very good sense of Fool's Paradise and the two of us. So let's have a word about Us, which you created on two male dancers in the all-male troupe Ballet Boys. I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about how different it is creating duets for two men from a man and a woman, because obviously with two men you've got nobody on point, but is it otherwise roughly the same?
Well, it's really just sort of about kind of the weight, the way that you use the weight of a man's body. You know, the Ballet Boys are all very, very skilled contemporary dancers, and contemporary dancers tend to understand the push and pull, the counterbalance that actually makes a body, if you get it right, counterbalance actually makes weight so much lighter. Like the coordination of how you go into something is so key to the weight of a lift, for example. And what was exciting about working with the Ballet Boys was it became something that was less about sort of sculptural line, correctness of line, and or how we take a classical line and bend it in an interesting way. And actually it became much more about a play of weight distribution, and also taking these two very masculine guys and exploring their connection together without it being sort of in any way overtly romantic or sexual, but allowing them to express, their masculinity and their femininity and how they work together. We made the piece very quickly. They came out to New York actually to work with me for a week in New York, and we made the piece in a week. And they were pushing me to explore in a different way, and similarly, I was asking them for a nicer line every now and then. And us came from it, and again, it's a sort of an example, a little bit like a work, say, like After the Rain, or even The Two of Us, that the story emerging from two people being together and connecting, and sometimes being, sometimes the energy sort of vibrating on a more aggressive level, but in the end, you feel like you're being told a story and you're going on a journey, even though you don't really know what that story is. You're actually imprinting a part of yourself into that, which is the beauty of abstract work too, is that there isn't necessarily a defined story. Yeah. We're asking the audience to lean forward and actually put a little bit of themselves into the work. Whereas I wouldn't ask anyone to put themselves into the head of Leontes in A Winter's Tale, or
Yeah. Chris, we've only got a couple of minutes, but I do want to just mention the Romantic Ballet in American in Paris, because in some ways it leads us full circle. I started this evening by congratulating you on your award for MJ the Musical, and that was what led you into musical theatre, wasn't it? Yeah. Why did you want to do shows?
Well, shows were, my mum and dad were going up to the West End all the time and coming back and bringing programs. We had a drawer in the bottom of the dresser in our hall that was just filled with programs, and I would sit as a kid for hours and just leaf through them and look at the pictures. And if I could have sung, I would have preferred to have gone into musical theatre, but I can't sing. And my body actually lent itself very naturally to ballet, and so that's kind of that's the path that I ended up taking. So it was always a dream to be involved in some way or another. And then when American in Paris came up, I didn't expect them to ask me to direct it. I only thought that they would, hire me as the choreographer, but they were really insistent, the producers, that it should be a choreographer-director vision. So I was like, all right, well, I'll have a go. And it was deeply uncomfortable and unsettling and scary, but ultimately really rewarding, and sort of flung the doors and windows open onto a sort of whole new facet of creativity for me. So I'm really grateful to have gone through that sort of icky, like cold sweat, when never having worked with actors before, and suddenly you're in a room full of seasoned Broadway actors and they're asking questions and you're thinking, I should have the answer to this, come up with something. It wasn't until I realized that actually half the fun of directing is not having the answer and discovering the answer with the actor. So I've enjoyed that, and I've enjoyed the opportunity to sort of explore that a little bit further.
Well, congratulations again on MJ the Musical and the award.
Thanks.
I could carry on chatting to you all evening, and I wish we had more time, as I'm sure you agree, but everyone I'm sure will want to thank the wonderful Christopher Wheeldon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. Well, sadly, that is, as you may have gathered, all we've got time for this evening. Ballet to Broadway, Wheeldon Works opens on the main stage here at the Royal Opera House on the 9th of May. And please visit our website for tickets and more information. I'd like to thank all of our guests this evening. I'd like to thank everyone who has been with us here in the Claw studio and everyone watching around the world online. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Until the next time, bye-bye.